Hello, my name is Amir Ishaq and I'd like to welcome you to this WebRTC video series, Let Us Learn Together. So far we've done 3 parts and this is the 4th part, and I would highly recommend that you go through those 3 videos before you go on. So let us do a quick recap of what we did in part 3. Okay, let us now jump to code. Let's run our server. It's running on port 8080. Let's go grab our HTTPS URL running on ngrok and open a browser. Let's paste it that and run. Our application is running successfully. Okay, now let's test it on 2 browsers. Okay, paste the URL. Okay, and then let's offer from this side, and then let's do an answer from the other browser, and voila, it's all good. If you don't know what's going on with this offer, answer, and all this text in here, I suggest you go and view the previous videos to get an idea of what's really going on. Now in this tutorial we're going to develop a mobile application using ReactNative. Okay, so let's start by creating a folder for the ReactNative application. So let's go to the browser, search for ReactNative, and then go to getting started. Let's scroll down, go to ReactNative CLI unless you want to use Expo version, but I'm using the CLI way. Go down, make sure you select your development operating system and your target OS. I'm using Mac OS and I'm doing it for iOS. If you've never installed or developed with ReactNative, you might want to follow all these detailed instructions, but I'll go all the way down to creating a new application for ReactNative. So I'm going to copy this. Okay, and then I'm going to go to my code. I have to make sure I'm in the right folder. Paste the command. I call it my app called WebRTC, and hit enter, and I'll let it to run. When I'm done, I'll resume recording. Okay, hopefully we are almost done installing required CocoaPods dependencies. Our ReactNative app has now been created. Let's try and run it. Let's jump to our WebRTC folder and ReactNative starts to run our app. ReactNative Node server is now running. Let's open up the folder for iOS so that we can run our app in the device from Xcode. Okay, so we need to open the XC workspace. Let's go ahead and set up our signing details. Go to signing, select your team. The same for test, and now we should be okay. Let's select our device. And hit run. Okay, the app is loading. Please note that this is not a simulator, it's a real device. Okay, now let's do some cleanup. Okay, add this line to index.js to avoid those warning pop-ups. There are two packages that we need to install. They are ReactNative WebRTC and Socket.io client. Let's do that now. Shouldn't take long. Okay, it's done. Okay, so let's now jump to Xcode and follow the React Native WebRTC configuration. Go to library, right click, add files to WebRTC, node modules, look for React Native WebRTC, iOS, and add the Xcode proj file. And then anywhere within the WebRTC folder, again, add files to WebRTC, go to node modules, React Native WebRTC, iOS, and select the framework folder. Okay, let's see what we need to do next. This is the web page for React Native WebRTC. The link will be in the description. iOS installation. So we've done from 1.1 to 1.3. We then are going to add this line in the pod file. So let's do that. Open pod file. Let's add it here. and then let's go to code and change directory to iOS, and run pod install. Got some error. I think I know why. Let's change this to iOS 10, because that's what they mentioned down here. Okay, so let's go back and run pod install again. Okay, everything looks to be working. Alright, so that's good. Our app should still be working. Let's go ahead and test it out. Run it again. It's taking some time, so I'll pause here and resume. Okay, so far so good. No errors. The app is loading. Okay, so the setup is pretty much complete. Now we can go ahead and write some code. But first, let me do some cleanup. Let's remove this. Let's change this to a class. Reacted component. Obviously, render method. This is let me remove these styles for now. So okay, so we're good up to here. Let's go ahead and start with an import from WebRTC, ReactNative WebRTC. Let's also import socket.io client. Getting device dimensions would be useful. Let's go ahead and define a dimensions constant. Okay, we get an error. Well, we will notice that almost all the methods are going to be the same between what we did before for the web browser and what we're going to do now for the mobile app. So let me just expand, split screen. Okay, now this is what we had for the web. Okay. Okay, so we have the web app on the left and the mobile app code on the right side. So let's start by creating our constructor. You notice that they closely resemble one another. So we have our reference for local video and remote video in the web app, and on this side for the mobile app we have local stream, reference in the state object, and remote stream. And the socket is the same and candidates is the same. We've just added a variable this.SDP. Okay, so let's create the component demand object, method, sorry. And I'll just copy this code here, which is just basically going to be the same. Now instead of this text ref value, we're going to assign it to this.sdp. This one will now change to, instead of on track, it's still on add stream, and we'll have to save it in the state object instead of in the remote ref. We will again remove all this and set the stream to the state object on local stream. Now for the get user media, we're going to follow the example that they have, which is basically this piece of code down here. Something wrong here. Okay. I think this code is pretty straightforward. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so we need to change this to SDP, this.SDP. That's it. Add candidate. Should also be the same. That's it. So our code, as you can see, we did very minimal changes. Let us now work on the UI. Okay. So in our render method, don't forget to restart ReactNative. Let's start our app again. But then it crashes. Okay, we forgot something to do. So let's go back to installation. Okay, let's go down. There is some permissions that we need to provide. So let's copy this, jump back to Xcode. Okay, open WebRTC info.plist. Let's view open as source code, and we can just paste them in there. So basically it's just giving permission to camera and microphone. That's it. And then let's run our application again. Yep, and our application should be working fine. Okay, so let's work on the UI. This view, I call it buttons container. Let's go ahead and add button container. In the interest of time, I've gone ahead and added these parts for the two buttons. Okay, it's for touchable opacity. You will have to add it, import it from React Native up here. Okay, so what is left now is to go ahead and style. let's go ahead, add a style for button with margin 5, padding vertical 10, background light gray, border radius 5, as you can see here. Does nothing for now. Okay, let's go ahead and apply the same style to be the same for both call and answer. Let's add this style to these styles. Okay. So that part is good so far. Okay, so for the call on press, we already have a method, and that is create offer. So let's just go ahead and call that. And for the answer, it will be create answer. For the video part, I'm going to have style video container. Okay, so let's go ahead and add that. Okay. And again, for the sake of time, I have added this piece of UI code here. Alright, this will represent the local video, the local stream. Okay, let's do inline styling so that we can see what's happening. Obviously, we need a video stream here, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the RCT view component. Okay. Okay, so let's set its properties. So let's go ahead and add our RCT views. And We also need to set the stream URL, which equals to our local stream dot to URL. And if all goes well, we should see a video, but we are not. Okay, so first I realized that I made a mistake. I wrapped everything within the component did mount, but actually that is wrong. Okay, so I'm gonna fix that. Go all the way to send peer up to there. Okay, this should be correct, but we're still not getting the video. So let's try to figure out. Okay, so the issue is actually we call this RCT view. It should be RTC view, and the video should show up. Okay, in the interest of time, I've added this piece here for the remote video. Okay, so let's do quick style. So for our scroll view, flex 1, background teal, padding 15. Center. Now we're going to add our remote video in here. But first, let's go and define remote video. Okay, again for the remote video, we're just basically going to do the same as we did for the local. Let's add RTC view. Okay.
And let's add its properties. For this I'm going to say 2. Yes, we need to mirror because there is a attribute for that. Let's style. We already have a style
Called remote for the remote. Okay, let's go back up. And let's add the remaining attributes or properties for the remote stream, which is similar. If we have a remote stream, then assign its URL to the stream URL. And we're pretty much, I would say, we're done. Okay, let's go ahead and test our app using the browser and the mobile app. Okay, refresh this. Let's call from the mobile. Okay, so we received the SDP. Let's answer. And boom, it's working. Okay, I'm now going to connect my iPad. I've just installed the app on it. Here we are. So I'm going to load the app. And I'm also loading the same app on the iPhone that I demoed on. And I'm going to connect the two. I'm going to answer from here. And there we go. So but this is on the same network. Let us now connect the iPad to a hotspot, which means it's going to be a different network. I'll connect to my phone. Okay, so we're connected. Hopefully, yep. Open the app. Let's try to call from here and answer from the phone. Yes, it's working. Okay. All right. Oh, one more thing that I forgot to add is on press. We can switch the camera from back to front and front to back. Okay, so let's reload our app and see if that will work. Make a call to the peer, answer, and now the camera is facing me. When I tap, back to me. Hi, I just wanted to point out one more thing, an issue that you might face when running your app in release mode. So I have my app running in release mode here and the web app here, and I try to make a call. Okay, I received on this side, I'm answering, but then you get black screen, there's no video. This happens for iPhone XS, iPhone X. It runs okay on XR. It runs okay on iPhone 7. It's okay on all the iPad version. So you might face that problem. So there is a bug, and I haven't figured out yet how to solve it. But as soon as I do figure out, I'll post it in the description. But I hope that you guys might come and give a solution. Thank you. Okay, so we've come to an end of this session.
enabling the mobile version for our series. And I'm looking forward to the next video where we're going to have more than 2 peers, and I hope to be done very soon. Thank you for your patience. Have a good day.